Here's video and audio of Sean McVay, the Rams head coach, and Zac Taylor, the Bengals head coach, talking about the fight that marred yesterday's joint session.
All right, so, the first thing I would say is we did get a bunch of good work against these guys over 2 days. Missed a little bit at the end. Thing I'm glad about, I don't know exactly what instigated it. I think in some instances, teams defending each other, and fortunately my understanding is nobody got hurt, and we'll move on from it. So, not going to make a bigger deal than what it is. Not going to look at pointing fingers on who did what. But I think just like Zach would say, I expect our guys to defend their teammates, vice versa. There are certain things you just don't know exactly what occurred, but I am glad that my understanding is nobody got injured, and that's the most important thing. And we'll move on, and we'll look at, we got enough stuff done to be able to evaluate it.
Just got a little scuffly, and so we just called it. We were in the last period, and we got 2 really good days of work in, and so was it worth getting the extra couple plays? No. So we called it up, and we got 2 good days of work in, and now we'll go play on Saturday. No, guys, emotions run high. You've been working together for 2 days now, and that's just some really competitive guys getting into it a little bit.
I still hear the audio. All right, the audio's gone now. And I'm glad it's gone because that's inexcusable. They're enabling this kind of behavior. And from Sean McVay's perspective, what do we expect? What do we expect? Well, let's not point fingers. No, because we would have to point fingers at one of the greatest players in NFL history. Let's not hold anyone accountable because we'd have to hold Aaron Donald accountable. At least nobody got hurt. Hey, at least nobody. So what that nobody got hurt? You're lucky nobody got hurt. Imagine how much worse it would be if somebody got hurt. It's about avoiding the opportunity and the occasion for someone to get hurt. And look, one of the reasons I don't miss practicing law, when you engage in litigation, what you're doing is you are constantly wrestling with the aftermath of some sort of a worst case scenario. Somebody did something dumb and it led to somebody getting seriously injured. You're not in court. There's nothing to fight about. There's no one to sue if something really bad didn't happen. So I spent years connecting behavior to consequence, to what may happen from behavior. And part of what you do when you advise people on how to stay out of trouble, you project forward what can this behavior lead to. And it's obvious what this behavior can lead to. And it's not enough to say, nobody got hurt, no harm, no foul. Let's just move forward. Let's not point fingers. Let's not bog down in details. So it doesn't surprise me that Sean McVay reacted the way he did. It's still disappointing. It's in character for most football coaches, specifically Sean McVay. And Zac Taylor's being way too deferential. Now, behind the scenes, he may have something else to say to Sean McVay. But look, he's not the coach of the Bengals without Sean McVay. He's not going to bite the hand that fed him his head coaching job, that has allowed him to have Joe Burrow as his quarterback and a team that will contend for years to come. So he's got a level of gratitude to Sean McVay, and he agreed to go do these practices knowing that Aaron Donald's a bit of a hothead. You walked your players into this lion's den. So it's kind of hard for Zac Taylor to say much about it now, because once you start asking him questions, the truthful answers eventually are, I kind of knew there was, a chance that Aaron Donald was going to do some of the things we've seen Aaron Donald do in the past.
Yeah, and he also said at one point, Mike, that it wasn't a big deal, and I completely and totally disagree with that. I do think it's a big deal, and I do think that the NFL needs to take steps to assure that this doesn't happen again. I will be interested in hearing from Bengals players, in particular La'el Collins. I love La'el Collins. I dealt with him for many years. I think he's going to have some probably great quotes on this if he gets asked about it in the next few days. Now, it may be one of those things when they don't get to talk to him again for several days and they've moved on to the start of the regular season and it becomes an afterthought. But I do think I would like to hear from La'el Collins. And I also want to hear from Myles Garrett. The next time that Myles Garrett talks, smart guy, he says what he means. I just think we're going to hear from Myles Garrett on this, and I want to get his take. I want to get what he thinks about what Aaron Donald did and to escape with this with no penalties.
I agree with you. That would be an appropriate topic for Garrett. I think we're more likely to hear from him about it than we are to hear from La'el Collins anytime soon, because it's part of that delicate dance, and it's relationship driven. That's how they had the joint practices in the first place. That's how they had the preseason game in the first place. There is some discretion that teams have as they line up their preseason opponents. Like Cincinnati's going all the way to L.A. Well, why? Well, I mean, there is that relationship there between McVay and Taylor. And I was stunned to see the video, and it really is. And I can understand why so many fans who don't follow the league as closely as we do look at this and say, what's the problem here? Why would the NFL not do anything about this? And I hope that's what the commissioner is asking people today. Why can't we do something about this? Why don't we do something about this? And if Aaron Donald, the Rams, and or the union have a problem with it, they can take it up through the appropriate channels. So we'll be monitoring this throughout the day on ProFootballTalk.com, but it really is a big deal. I don't want to overstate it, but I think it's important to not understate it. It is the kind of thing that could have gotten someone seriously injured, and if you don't stop this behavior now, it's going to happen elsewhere, and it's going to keep happening until someone does get seriously injured, and it will have been completely avoidable when it finally does happen.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.